by the internet. All right, let's get started. Again, I want to welcome everybody to this wonderful morning edition of Wealth Secret Mindset Mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, you know this is one of the fastest growing mentorship class in Africa, and we're super excited about what God is using this class to do in the lives of people all over the world. I want to say welcome for wherever you're tuning in from. Maybe you're tuning from, the first world country, second world country, third world country. The most important thing is you are welcome. And it's nice to have everybody back on this amazing program. So today we're just going to be doing a sprint run because we would like to stick to time. We got some feedback, like people say, oh, let's just stick to our normal time, 15, 20 minutes. So we want to really stick to that. So hopefully we're going to be guided with that time and we'll be time conscious. All right. So it's your regular host, Dr. Afolabi Olatunji, on today's program. So we have something very interesting to share with us this morning is, having to be able to think differently, and they have a different lifestyle, a different thing, things coming in differently to you. So it's a teaching series. We will be beginning with by saying, there's a way we view things, and we've been going, we're following a particular trend since the beginning of the year. Every topic we've been teaching, every weekly topic is tailored towards helping us to grow mentally, and it's strategic. It's strategic too for our own growth too. And I want us to understand something, that in today's teaching, what we're going to be doing is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so and that's why we tag today's or this weekly teaching, think differently to change your life. Think differently to change your life. So what does it take to think differently? What does it mean for you to have a different thinking, a different mindset, a different philosophy, a different way of reasoning? And it's very important. So many people really don't even know what it takes to think differently. You see, according to L. Nightingale, he said, thoughts are things. For you to change the things you don't want in your life, you need to start changing your thoughts. So it means that everything begins with our thinking patterns. Ladies and gentlemen, folks, you want to have things working for you differently, you need to start thinking differently. And this is where most people really call my attention and say, Afolabi, listen, why is it that, whatever you set your mind on, you tend to achieve it, and you go and you push in everything into it? And it's just everything. It's just the way life is being designed. You see, if you don't change the way you think, you see, everything will still be the same way it used to be. So I'll begin by saying, we're going to be looking or evaluating, 5 thoughts to the way, or the 5 ways we think. And I put a 5 thought system. Now, to start with, I want us to know that when you change your thinking, you change your belief. When you change your thinking, you change your belief. And the truth is that your belief is what will ultimately strengthen your thinking. So first, start changing your thinking. The day you change your thinking, your belief about everything changes. Now, first, you can look at success. What is it that you're doing and you want to achieve greatness in it? You have to look at it differently. Don't look at it the way every other person has been looking at it. Don't look at it like the way every other person see that business running. You need to change that your thinking. If you want to be the best at what you do, then you need to have another level of belief better than the way others believe in it. Because some persons say, man, I want to start a business. Imagine the kind of business world that I start. Some people will look at me and say, Afolabi, what is it that is working for you? What is giving you this drive, this momentum into what you do? I just say, I just believe. I believe that whatever thing I put my hands on will prosper. One of my biggest mentors then, the person of Altenburg, this man used to be for like 3 consecutive years, he dominated the list of highest income earner in direct sale that year. I think it started from 2016, 17, 18. This man was the highest income earner, earning about $1.2 million every single month. Now, he was being asked a question, and they say, Alton, what works for you? Why is it that you are just on this list for 3 consecutive years? And this man said, you know what? Nothing. I'm not doing anything differently. And people were like astonished, and they were wondering, why is he not doing anything different? He said, I just believe. I believe anyway. I just believe stupidly. I just believe. And that belief is the belief into his business. So it means that the day you change your thinking is the day you need to change your belief system too. So if you believe in something, I don't know what you want to do in this week. I don't know what you want to achieve in this month. I don't know what you have set your mind or the things that you want to do. Start to change your belief. The day you change your thinking, your belief also has to change. So we're going to now talk about the 5 thoughts. The 5 thoughts. Thought number 1, right? Thought number 1, we will look at, we said everything begins with a thought. You can imagine, number 1 also state that everything still begins with a thought. I want you to write that down, because for you to know that everything begins with a thought, it means that life consists of what man is thinking about. Everything you're thinking about, everything that has made life worth living. Imagine the electricity. Imagine the internet we're using. Somebody conceived that thought. Somebody, sat down to look at it and say, this is what we want to make happen. We want to create something to be able to, communicate to the world virtually without leaving the comfort of your home. Somebody put the thought of, the aeroplane, the landers brother. I think we've thought about this before. Somebody put the thought of having a chair. Somebody put the thought of having a cloth. This glasses. Somebody put the thought of, soap, water. Everything still begins with a thought. So number 1 in the 5 thoughts. So, and if you now know that life consists of, what man is thinking about, that's everything that makes life worth living, then you need to also understand that the thought is the originator of what happens to us, because everything that happens to you begins with your thought. So whatever you're feeling right now, it's, the thought are the originator. You achieve success in what you're doing, it is still as a end product of your thought. What is not working for you, it is still the same way you are thinking. So you need to now look at, I need to start thinking differently. I need to start having a different approach. I need to start having a different philosophy, a different way of looking at things. If others are looking at a certain business that is not going to work for them, that is going to be difficult, guess what? That difficulty is going to come to them. If you look at maybe your relationship, your marriage, your social life, you think it's going to be the best ever, guess what is going to happen? You're looking at your academics, you think you're not going to achieve, or you're going to fail, you're going to fail in it. So everything has to do with your thought. So change it from now. Change the way you look at things. You say, the day you stop, or the day you change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at too will start changing. So you can imagine that day. What about you just waking up in the morning and tell yourself, wow, this is a blessed morning. This is a blessed week. I will be successful in this week. Whatever I set my hands on will prosper. I'll tell you something. The day you change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at too will start changing. It's like both of you looking at each other, but this guy just wants this guy to make a move. So the move, or the move you want to make, will be as a result of your thinking. So that's one you need to know. So the thought number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is that what we think determines who we are, and who we are determines what we do. What we think determines who we are, and who we are determines what we do. So it means that there are 3 processes in this second thought. First, the first process is that you're thinking, and guess what? The second process has to do with you becoming, and the third process here is doing it. So if you look at what I put in there for you, it means that what we think determines who we are, and who we are determines what we do. So I told you guys, what you think determines who you are. What are the things that you're thinking? Who are you? Do you like the way you are? Do you like what you're doing? Do you like what surrounds you? Do you like the kind of lifestyle you live in? Do you like the kind of house you stay in? Do you like the kind of car you're driving? Do you like the kind of marriage you are into? Maybe the socio-economic, things that surrounds you. Or maybe, if you don't like it, start looking at these 3 processes I gave to you. The first is start thinking of how to change. Think. Everything begins, he said, according to, Napoleon, he said, think and grow rich. So it means that riches can be growth. Can be grown over time, but it requires you to think that I want to grow the richness. I want to be rich in everything. So you have to begin with your thinking. So first, thinking must be number 1. Second is, what are you becoming? And the third is that what are the things am I doing that is going to make all these things to have a change for me? Now, ladies and gentlemen, now I'll take us to number thought. The number thought has to do with, he said, our thought determines our destiny, and our destiny determines our legacy. I want you to write that down. Our thought determines our destiny, and our destiny determines our legacy. It means that if your thought determines your destiny, and your destiny determines your legacy, I'll tell you something. These are the things you need to look at. First, you need to know that you are today where your thought has brought you. And for you to move from where you are to another thing, it means that you have to also think differently. Because you are today where your thought has brought you. So if you know that where your thought has brought you is not a place where you like, where you admire, then, ladies and gentlemen, start to change that. All right, I take us to number 4 because our time is fast winding down. I say number 4 because we're going to conclude on number 4 today. All right, then we'll build up more tomorrow and the rest of the week for more, because I'm telling you something. I'm so fired up. I'm so feeling it this morning. I was thinking about this thing all through the weekend, and I don't know how to put it together. So this morning I woke up, I just started putting it in a form of write-up in my diary, like ensuring that I want to really deliver something and I don't know how to do it, but because I want you to have a different philosophy. I want you to have a different thought. I want you to have a different, I want you to think differently, to view success in a different way, to have a different mindset, a different philosophy. Things that people are struggling to get, you can actually achieve it. Whether it's good relationship, whether it's good, anything good, whether you want to achieve greatness, success in business, I can tell you, it does begin with the way you think. So let's go to number 4. Number 4 here says, people who go to the top think differently than others. Can you imagine that? I want you to ponder over that for just a few seconds. People who go to the top think differently than other people. So why? The question is why? Why do you think? Because let me tell you something. Do you ever ask people who are the top? Do you know there is a lot of room at the top? And there's a saying that said, top is where you belong, bottom is way overcrowded. At the bottom, it's too overcrowded. Everybody's struggling. Everybody pushing really, really hard. So it means that the way people are pushing really, really hard at the bottom is as a result of their thinking, their thoughts. So if you get to the top because you want to think differently as those guys at the top, it means that there is a lot of rooms. In fact, there is a lot of leg space. It's like you're in an aircraft and you are in the economy as compared to somebody in the business class or in the first class. You see, there's a lot of comfort there. There's a lot of comfort there, and you are struggling in the economy. They bag everybody together. You are there, but guess what? The guys at the VIP or the business class or the first class are different. They are just the same people like you, but guess what? They think differently. If some people don't even have the money because they want to connect, they want to really connect with people, and people at the top connect with each other faster and quicker. They relate with each other. They are more friendly to each other. They give each other the opportunity to express themselves. So why are they different, ladies and gentlemen? Why are they different? It means that nothing limits achievement than thinking. Nothing limits achievement than thinking. So you have to change it differently. You want to achieve this XY number of goals, ladies and gentlemen, think like the guys at the top. Think like the guys that are achieving greatness. Think like Dangote. Think like Otedola. Think differently. Is there something that you want to achieve and you haven't achieved it? Go and study the lifestyle or the way somebody else that have achieved greatness in that thing. Study it, go online. And this is where I remember this Ubon King guy. Ubon King said when it was about setting up Protection Plus, that's his company. He said he went online to go study allergen. He studied allergen. He studied this company back to back. He studied their annual, report and everything. And when he wanted to pull up the result, he said if they can achieve this number of, this income within the space of 1 year, then he knows that his company can actually achieve it. So Ubon King is late. It's the late Ubon King, and this guy went. And he was looking at it. He tried to say, okay, we need to do something differently. We don't have to do what they are doing. So can we set up something differently other than what these guys have done? And guess what? He did that same thing. He did the same thing in the same industry. And then guess what? His company now are the one dominating the maritime part, working with Lasema and the rest of it. And guess what? This guy is dead. But guess what? His legacy move on. The children, the family, the wife. This guy now is doing phenomenal things. But guess what? He's dead, but the wife, the legacy, it moves on. So I'll tell you something. To wrap up, I want to give us two kinds of people. Two kinds of people. Because when you look at people that are at the top, they think differently. It means that there are ways these guys think. There are ways they do things. Two kinds of people, ladies and gentlemen. First is that you need to know that that people, the first people, are being limited by their thinking. The first category of people are limited by their thinking. So it means that those people, they have limitation. Those people that are not achieving or that couldn't achieve that level to be at the top, one of the reasons why they can achieve it is because they are limited in their thinking. They think that the guys at the top, they have connections, they know more people, they have more influence, they have more money, and that can be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That can be wrong. It is your thinking. Now, the second people are the people that are more creative. There are people that are more creative in their thinking. So what does it take for you to be more creative? What does it take for you to be more? It means that you are looking at that same thing that the same person is looking at, and you are telling yourself, I can do it. And the other guy is looking at it and say, I cannot do it. So you can see you have limited the way you think. You have limited the way you've limited the way you think. So why is this guy looking at it differently? Because he sees an opportunity. No wonder the same country, and I'll give us an example. No wonder an Indian man said something. He said, when I walk in the street of Lagos, I only see gold on the floor. Why is he seeing gold? Is he seeing physical gold? No, he's not seeing the physical gold. He's seeing opportunities. And guess what? Some of us, as blacks or Nigerians, we are thinking that until we travel abroad, until we go to another country, that is when the gold is. That is when the riches are. No, what if I tell you that you are wrong? Because success does not know boundary. Success does not know the kind of color of skin that you have. It doesn't know the kind of religion that you have, or it doesn't know, whether you're black, you're white, or the kind of, ethnic, background, country you come from. Success is a global principle. So to have the access to the global principle, it has to do with the way you think. Don't quit on your dream. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on, the possibility for a life change. You need to start believing and tell yourself, I can do it no matter what. So to do it or to help your belief, your thinking has to be different. Your thinking has to be different. So ladies and gentlemen, and that's why we're teaching you that think positively to have a better life. So to think possibly to have a better life has to do with what you're doing right now. So I give you a bonus point here. Now, the bonus point say your thinking is the seed of what you will become and do. Your thinking is a seed of what you will become and do. So that's a bonus point, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you got value for this session this morning. I will be going back to Lagos today. I'm broadcasting live from my own hotel room here in Ibadan. So today I'm going to be back to Lagos and to prepare more and to ensure that you get value for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you start thinking differently. I hope you got the message loud and clear. And I hope we've been able to pass out something of value to you this morning. And I hope you ask to start looking at yourself and tell yourself, I can do it no matter what. I will start thinking differently to have a change of life for me, for my life, for my wife, for my family, for everything, for a better life change. Think differently. Don't think like every other person. And that's why there is a philosophy of the 97 percenters and the 3 percenters. Ladies and gentlemen, always think like the 3 percenters. Of course, the 97 percenters, that's a corner where every other person belongs. But for you to move away from that people or from those kind of group of people, you need to think differently. Think like those guys at the top. And guess what? There is a lot of room. There's a lot of leg space. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of connection. There's a lot of blessings at the top. And that's where we want everybody listening to us on this program to start being and looking or envision themselves to be at. All right, guys, that is it from all of us here at Wealth Secret Mindset Mentorship. We hope your time today is not wasted, and we encourage you to go out there to make the most of the day. You know, remember, everything we do here is about giving you value for your time. All right, that's it from all of us here at Wealth Secret Mindset Mentorship. So I'm just going to invite my brother, my friend, my co-host here, Coach Dan, to give it up, and then we call it a day.